There's a certain kind of comfort that doesn't feel like a warm blanket. It's more like a quiet trap. It doesn't scream at you or threaten you. Nope, it just whispers. And today, we're going to talk about that. This subtle, creeping kind of financial comfort that can be, well, surprisingly damaging.
Just listen to that voice for a second. It's so tempting, isn't it? It's the voice of things are fine. The little nudge that says, hey, don't worry about it today. Tomorrow's a way better day for those big, scary decisions. It feels totally harmless. But really, that's the siren song of stagnation.
I really want you to think about that. That whole routine, working, paying the bills, just staying busy. It feels productive, right? It feels like life is moving. But is it really moving forward, or are you just busy?
Okay, let's really dive into this. We're going to start by exploring this whole deceptive feeling, what we're calling the whispering comfort, and really get why it's so incredibly easy to fall for it. This right here is the heart of the illusion. It's crazy when you think about it. Month after month, and honestly year after year, our financial life can stay in exactly the same spot. We're putting in all the work, we're handling our responsibilities, but that real, meaningful progress, it's just not happening.
Normal, safe, stable. On the surface, these are all words we want for our lives. But that's the trap. In this context, they're just a disguise. They're masking this quiet, pretty sobering reality that while we're feeling secure, time is just slipping away. And with it, so are opportunities.
And that brings us to the core problem. It's this feeling of putting out a ton of effort without actually getting anywhere. Let's call it running in place.
Oh man, this just illustrates the point perfectly. Look, effort is not the problem here. Most of us are working incredibly hard. The real issue is that all this hard work isn't actually turning into forward momentum. We're sweating, we're getting tired, but we look around and we're in the exact same spot we were last year.
This is such a critical distinction to make. See, we perceive that we're making progress, but what's really happening is just motion without any movement. We feel a sense of safety, but it's actually stagnation. And that feeling of control we think we have, well, when any little unexpected bill can become a full-blown crisis, you realize that control is just an illusion.
And this is how we justify staying put. We tell ourselves these little stories. When I get that raise, then I'll get organized. Or, right now is just too crazy. I just need to get through the month. These thoughts are the excuses that keep that treadmill running. The problem isn't just in our bank account. It really starts up here, in our heads.
So how in the world do we get stuck here? Well, that brings us to our next section, the autopilot habit. And the most important thing to get is that this is not some personal failing. It's a learned behavior, a path of least resistance that, honestly, most of us are guided onto without even knowing it.
Think about it. From the time we're young, the whole focus is on getting a job to earn money and then using that money to buy stuff and pay for things. It's all reactive. But the proactive part, the planning, the choosing, the directing your money where you want it to go, that's a skill we're often just expected to figure out all on our own.
Okay, so the paycheck hits the bank account. Boom. Immediately, we deal with the urgent stuff. Rent, utilities, all the bills. Then, of course, we need a little relief from all that stress, so we find it in small rewards. All the while, the truly important work, the planning, it gets pushed to later. And by the time later ever comes around, the rest of the money is just vanished.
All right, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now for the good part, the solution. This is the big turning point. It's all about making a conscious shift from passenger to driver. It's about taking your hands off the dashboard and putting them firmly on the steering wheel of your life.
This is where we completely flip the script. We have to redefine what true comfort even means. That passive comfort, the one that avoids making choices, that's the one that costs you everything in the long run. Real, lasting comfort, that comes from the exact opposite, having active control. It's the peace of mind you get from knowing you are in charge.
So how do we get that control? With a map. It's that simple. A plan. A conscious decision about where your money is going to go before it even has a chance to leave your account. This is the tool that fundamentally shifts you from reacting to your finances to actually directing them.
Just look at the difference here. Without a map, you're just along for the ride. Any old road seems fine because you don't even have a destination. But with a map, you're the driver. You know where you're going. Even if you hit a detour, it has meaning because it's part of the larger journey. You decide for your money, not the other way around.
This brings us to our final section,
And this is all about action, building your project. And I really love this framing because it turns something like financial planning from a boring chore into something that you are actively and creatively building for yourself.
The entire process, the whole thing, starts right here with one simple but incredibly powerful mental switch. You just stop asking, what can I buy with this money? And you start asking, where should this money go? See the difference? It's a change in perspective from what can I get right now to where can this take me?
And let's be crystal clear about something. This is not about restriction. It's not about deprivation or saying no to every little thing you enjoy. Control is about intention. It's about making conscious choices that actually line up with your real goals, so you can enjoy the small things without that nagging guilt in the back of your mind, because you know your foundation is solid.
And when you do that, when you make that shift, something pretty incredible happens. The future stops being this fuzzy, distant hope that maybe you'll get to someday. It becomes a real project that you are actively building, day by day, choice by choice. It's your project, and it's already in motion.
So we'll end with this, a question for you to take with you. I want you to take a hard look at that feeling of comfort in your own financial life. Is it a shield actually protecting you and helping you grow? Or is it more like a cage, just delaying you from building the freer, more stable life you actually want? The first step is just realizing the difference.